On this episode, we'll go back to September of 1989. We'll talk about a geriatric duck on a pogo stick, prepubescent Nestor's secret alcoholism, and you won't believe what's on page 85. It's all here in issue number 8. Let's go!
Flipping through an issue of Nintendo Power is like traveling through time. Nintendo's fascinating, nostalgic, and sometimes hilarious past is captured forever on its pages. Journey with me through time to discover Nintendo's history.
Fall of 1989 was an amazing time to be a Nintendo fan. While Look Who's Talking rolled in theaters and Tears for Fears were sowing the seeds of love, whatever that means, Nintendo fans were experiencing the golden age. After a few odd cover choices, this issue really delivered. A cartoony Scrooge McDuck cheerfully looks back at us, while the computerized background gives us a taste of the world-hopping level select from the game. When I was a kid, I never had these winged pins for renewing my subscription, but as an adult, I really wanted to find them. They're pretty cool. I love this letter in the Player's Pulse mailbox from Clint Woodall. Some of my friends get real hyper and start yelling when we cut it too close on some games. One of them even slaps himself in the face. Okay, I know I mess with these 80s kids, but honestly, these letters document the way us 80s kids thought, and the photos show our fashions and interests. And page 8 features DuckTales. Most licensed games suck, they're just cashing in on the name. But DuckTales is every bit as good as the show that birthed it. The characters, the villains, the song, the bright cartoony graphics, it's all here. What really sets it apart from other NES games is Scrooge's pogo ability, and the uniqueness of stages like Transylvania and the Moon, which are non-linear, fully explorable, loaded with secrets. Plus, there's green cheese of longevity. On page 20, coverage begins on Enix's Dragon Warrior. It captured all the adventure of exploring a foreign world, casting spells, opening treasure chests, and battling a wide variety of creatures. Much of the coverage seems to just be explaining how RPGs work. Concepts like HP, grinding, leveling up are explained as if they're brand new ideas. Many of us will always remember Dragon Warrior as the bonus gift for subscribing to Nintendo's little magazine. And even more of us wish it had come with the Famicom cover art. NES Satellite, bam, yell in my face. I mean, to be honest, the thing does look pretty cool, and at the time it was very cool. With NES Satellite, players could experience a whole new collection of 4-player games, wirelessly, from their couch. That's what we call the power of freedom. Or is it the freedom of power? In fact, this thing is so powerful it reversed aged Howard Phillips. Now he's been jamming buttons as a 15-year-old. The games themselves range from decent co-op fun to Share the Nightmare to Hoops, where the players are either named after body parts, like legs and face, or bodily functions, like Whiz and Bomber, or redundant titles like Mr. Doc. Come on, Legs and Whiz and Mr. Doc, let's play Hoops! Oh boy. Counselor's Corner shows players how to get the hammer in Zelda 2, explains the notorious kneeling red crystal whirlwind snafu in Simon's Quest, and in TMNT it just flat out tells you that this pizza is impossible to get. Thanks a lot, Rob Baker. Oh, look. He enjoys papier-mâché, sculpture, and piano. Wait a second. Papier-mâché? Piano? The future's gonna be very bright for you, Mr. Baker. On the next page, we have Fester's Quest. The Addams Family IP has had multiple Phoenix-like recurrences, but of all the characters in the show, Fester? Fester. Why not make a game based on Thing? Nah. And as a game based on a TV show, why on earth do you fight the Predator, Lucifer,
hello,
and a T-Rex? That said, I have good memories of the game, and I always enjoyed getting the various power-ups, but still, Fester? Really? On the next page, please be good, Roger frickin' Rabbit. I remember renting this stupid game. Why? Because I liked the movie, but as I said earlier, licensed games usually suck. The graphics are bland, the game is confusing, and it's simply not fun. You said it, Roger. This issue not only arrived with one of the best posters that Nintendo Power had yet offered, the Batman poster, but also came with part 2 of the Super Mario Bros. 2 Inside Out tip book, covering all or most of the secrets from the second half of the game. And it's really cool, but also kind of weird. Page 51 begins an 8-page spread on Game Boy, the compact video game system. In an era full of dedicated Tiger handhelds, the Game Boy with its interchangeable cartridges was really awesome. Plus, many homes at the time only had 1, maybe 2 TVs, so while Mom was watching Murder, She Wrote, there wasn't a chance you were going to get to play NES. It wasn't an option. The Game Boy changed the paradigm. Now you could play Nintendo in the car, or at Grandma's, or at the beach, where prepubescent Nestor is drinking a cocktail and using a 40-foot link cable which should be connected to the side. But they did give us one hint. He's playing in outdoor lighting, which is the only way you can ever see the screen. But I digress. The article also discusses the Soviet-designed pack-in Tetris and proceeds to give us a geometry lesson. There are 7 different ways to arrange 4 blocks with sides touching, and each of these arrangements is represented by a block pattern, or tetrad. They make it sound so fun, a Soviet geometry game. But once people played it, then they understood. And now Tetris is such a foundational classic. It's been on like every single platform ever. It's pretty safe to say Tetris as a pack-in was a good choice. So we've seen some pretty convoluted codes and secrets and classified information before. But this password hack for 1943 requires a PhD in aeronautical engineering and avionics. Even robot Howard Phillips is confused. Other tips are pretty useful, like jumping over the tricky wall in Ninja Gaiden's level 5-2, or in Mega Man 2 using Flashman's time stopper to prevent the hot dogs from ever spawning. Hold the mustard? In video shorts, we get tiny previews of Air Fortress, Sky Shark, Casino Kid, Castle Quest, Jordan vs. Bird, Romance of the Three Kingdoms, and Bad Street Brawler, which you can play with the Power Glove. So many NES games, and somewhere out there these games are special and nostalgic to someone. On the top 30, Adventure of Link sits at the top, almost sensing that its days are numbered. The Guardian Legend sprang onto the list, debuting at number 9. And somehow, Super Mario Bros. 3, which wouldn't be released in America for 4 months, appeared at number 20. Barely squeaking by Adventures of Lolo and Bases Loaded by a couple points. That's weird. What the... An alien in a man suit, in a space suit, talking about Bases Loaded 2. Why? Let's face it, the NES Achievers section is really just a place for kids to brag about their scores. But, Robbie, dude, why would you brag about playing Mag Max long enough to get over 2 million points? And speaking of masochism, 13 kids bragged that they maxed out scores on Xenophobe. You know how I feel about that one.
Is it fun? I'll try to put this simply.
Okay, I'm kidding. Fine. Look, my name never appeared in Nintendo Power, and if I'm honest, I have a veiled jealousy that yours did. Next episode, we'll travel back to November of 1989. We'll talk about more Tetris, a lot more Dragon Warrior, RoboCop, Willow, Iron Sword, and so many more.